Groundwater. This is chapter 19 in the Earth textbook. So let's talk about groundwater today. We'll begin with a look at the hydrologic cycle or the water cycle. And there are atmospheric, there are surface, and there are under the surface fluxes and reservoirs in the hydrologic cycle. Infiltration, let me get my pointer. So infiltration over here is the slow, it can be fast, percolation of surface water into the upper part of the crust, maybe the upper part of the pedosphere, like the soil and regolith. That water is going to infiltrate down and become part of what is the groundwater. And some of that groundwater can recharge the surface water. Some of it can leak as seepage, leak and actually flow as in a spring, or it can recharge lakes. Groundwater can also add to the flow of rivers. Some groundwater, maybe it gets a little deeper and becomes a part of the regional groundwater storage as part of an aquifer system. All of that water eventually flows down to either, in this case, the ocean or maybe a terminal lake. So that is how groundwater fits in to the water cycle. You can kind of think of it like an underwater river. So there again, the precipitation enters the subsurface via infiltration. The rate of infiltration depends on what kind of soil there is and also how vegetated that surface is. Once it's infiltrated, it can either become part of soil moisture or go deeper and become part of the groundwater system. Groundwater is very important to study, and part of that is because we tap it for drinking water. Not only do we tap it for drinking water, but also for irrigation. So this image on the right shows grids of agriculture that is separated by big areas of an arid, maybe desert environment. And so that water is brought in these surface aqueducts here. These aqueducts are bringing in water, and then that is being spread out on these fields. So we definitely need to understand groundwater and its influence on agriculture. So we study it also in terms of pollution. So this is a model. We have one of these in our department, the Geological Environmental Sciences, and we use this to pump these different colors in, can represent different pollutants, and then what that might look like as the pollutants flow through the system. Groundwater is a really important resource because we drink it. So drinking water, a lot of drinking water is groundwater. In Boone, on campus and in town, campus and town, we use surface water. But outside of town and outside of campus, most people have a well in their yard, and they have drilled down into the bedrock, tapped into a fracture, and get water out of the ground. So irrigation, drinking water, and industry uses water. Mining uses lots of water. Agriculture uses lots of water. So we study groundwater because it is such an important resource.